Hello, 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 Lojban soldier. Hello, Lojban soldier. I hope you're eating the correct number of bananas, neither too many bananas nor too few bananas, and being taken care of by yourself. Here are Xrobau is just getting started, but Xrobau already has a bunch of Xrobau affection words that are specifically about touch hunger and touch starvation. These are it's just getting started. It only has a few hundred words so far. It's going to have thousands of words, and there will be many more words for touch starvation and touch hunger. So if this seems like too many to you, watch out. More coming. Breia is an action that is motivated by touch hunger. Breia means to touch yourself, trying to deal with your touch hunger, even though your self-touch doesn't entirely work to deal with their self-hunger, with their touch hunger. A lot of times when people have touch hunger, they'll breia, which is it's confusing because they'll tell you, like, if you're like during the pandemic when everyone was like, what should we do about touch hunger? The pandemic started and everyone was like, my touch hunger is more than usual and more than my usual compensations deal with. What shall I do? And everyone told them to get people to touch themselves, but if you tell them that, they'll just end up breia. So, but there's no word or concept for that in English. So here are, and then we have these are four different emotions, ways you can feel. The words are people. There's no, it's not a person place. It's these all have an experiencer as their one place. A sheholfa experiences a deep longing for physical contact, often due to prolonged periods of touch deprivation. So sheholfa is the most basic of them. It's pretty generic. You haven't been touched for a long time, so you have a longing to be touched. Sheholfa. cmri'i is a secondary. The rest of these are more secondary feelings that you sheholfa, and then if you sheholfa enough, then you start to have other secondary problems. Like cmri'i is when you've been starved for affectionate touch, you've been sheholfa, and you start to feel lonely, isolated, and distressed. So it's not just that you're like, I wish I could be touched. You feel lonely, you feel alone, and it feels bad. Cmri'i. And then ctro'a is when the touch hunger spills over into like a physical pain that you feel. You experience it in your body, like, ow, I'm touch starved so much that it hurts. Ctro'a. Eftei is more something that happens after a long time not having touch. There's a feeling, there's an empty feeling. X1 experiences a deep sense of emptiness and lack of fulfillment due to a prolonged absence of physical contact and intimacy. So it's the eftei is a very deep feeling of not just a little bit of loneliness, but like being empty inside and derealized often. So there's no particular sequence to this or any like, it's not just like an amount of an intensity, but ctro'a is specifically about it's spilling over into physical pain or something that's experienced, like, is very on a more physical, tangible level. Cmri'i is more about like the emotional outcome, whereas eftei is more of like a lack of emotion that from it's like you're suppressing your desire and also suppressing other feelings over a long time, and it starts to get empty. And then we've got a couple more here, these are not specifically touch related. These are more broad. You can feel these about various things, not just touch. Jble'e, X1 has a chronic tension or inattention or block in their body space, in their experience at locus X2, because of not having desired sensation X3 for so long that they need to form a tension or inattention or block in order to not continuously feel pain from lacking it. When you're not feeling things you want to feel in your body, there's at specific places in your body. The jble'e at a particular place hasn't felt the jble'e, and the lack of the jble'e is painful, but causes them to stop paying attention to their jble'e. Zbeua is when you long for something so deeply that it causes like a heaviness in your chest. Zbeua. So those aren't specifically touch related, but they're just in general about emotional need and about how emotional need can affect your body experience. So just getting started, that's just half a dozen very basic words about touch needs and emotional needs, and Xrobau is going to have rather a lot of those.